Hey, what up, y'all? Mr. Cruz here, the latest teacher you never had, back with another video. If this sounds weird, I'm recording in a different room. Usually I record downstairs in my dining room, but today I'm actually in my studio recording, which I should probably do more often, but it's just very uncomfortable. All right, but for today's video, I wanted to show you guys how I go about my tag and my tag that you hear in my beats, and also how I import that tag in my template, so that way it just makes it super easy for me to edit and change anything on the fly. Usually when I'm making my beats, my tag is the last thing that I do right before I bounce it out and then kind of finish everything off. So I'm going to show you guys that in today's video. So for starters, my tag, Ayo Mr. Cruz, I did record a couple of my students at my school during my music production class. I just pulled a couple kids aside who I thought, like, yo, you got a really cool voice. Like, let's see if we can kind of make this happen. And I recorded all of them saying, Ayo Mr. Cruz. I picked the one that I thought sounded the best, and this is what she sounded like.
Ayo Mr. Cruz.
All right, so that's the dry recording. That's kind of what we got. And actually, like, now that I think of it, that's a pretty solid, clean recording right there. So I started out by throwing some reverb in, right? Just a little bit of room reverb.
Ayo Mr. Cruz.
All right, and then from there, I started adding a whole bunch of other effects. So I started with a preset for a de-esser. So that's kind of like these first 5. Wait, with this compressor as well. So these first, So like these first 5 up here are all part of a de-esser chain. Then I threw some compression, and then I did like a pretty decent low cut with a little bit of a high shelf. So that's kind of all the technical stuff. Like, you want to edit out all the bad stuff or all the muddiness or the low end that you're not going to need. And then I threw in like the creative stuff. So that's where we get this chorus or this flanger here. And then unison. There was kind of a period where I was throwing unison on everything. I just love the sound like that a detuner kind of has. That kind of like old timey, phase tremolo kind of sound. So I threw one of those in, and then I threw in a saturation knob for a little bit of distortion. And lastly, I did like a combo. Oh wait, no, never mind. I did a ozone imager just to widen the stereo field, and then M-Class maximizer, which is a limiter. And I did this because I want my tag to be loud, at least loud enough to be able to match the volume of the rest of my beat. Because as I said, the tag is the last thing that I edit before I bounce out my beat. So by that time, I've already, boosted the audio signal. I've already thrown a limiter on it, and I've already got the loudness to commercial standards, or to commercial volume. So my tag needs to be able to match that commercial volume right out the gate. So I threw in a maximizer on there. And then after I threw all those things in, let me go ahead and bypass or unbypass all the signals. You end up with
Ayo Mr. Cruz.
All right. So to me, super dope. I like it. I'm feeling what I got there. But if you've heard my tag, you realize that there is kind of this ascending kind of a start, like it goes, hey yo Mr. Cruz, right? So I'm gonna explain to you guys how I did that, just because it's a little bit more complicated. Maybe I'll save that for another video. But all I did is I took the first part of that A part, right, this part right here, right, and I cut that. And I'll kind of explain it. I'm not going to actually show you everything that I did here in great detail, just because it's pretty time consuming. And then I threw in a ton of reverb. So once I did that, I then kind of set up another audio signal. Actually, I'm sitting here going, I may as well just show you. I set up another audio signal, or another audio channel. And in this audio channel, I'm going to set my first one to be a record source. And this one on my input, I'm going to select stereo, of course, and then my tag audio channel. So now any kind of processing, and this is pretty much like as if it was recording from the master channel. So when I hit, we see that we're kind of getting an audio signal down there at the bottom. So I go ahead and record it. Oh, wait, you know what? My bad. I have to use that audio, that reverb as a insert. Or I should have used that audio as an insert. All right, so let's go throw a reverb in there. Let's go to my reverbs. Go to the RV7000 Mark II and make it very wet. Boom, there we go. All right, so now we do it again. All right, money. And then from here, we're gonna reverse it. And here's kind of the last part of this. Can I extend this? Yeah, all right, perfect. So now, all I'm gonna do is kind of match these two audio signals. I first need to unrecord source this. So now it's just regular. So we don't kind of get phase happening here. And then literally I just lined them up until I kind of got the right sound, and then I did like a little bit of splicing in between those two.
Hey, yo, Mr. Cruz.
Right? So you see how we kind of get both of them, and obviously this channel still has the reverb on it that we can take off, or we can kind of bypass. And now it sounds a lot better.
Hey, yo, Mr. Cruz.
But of course, once again, I took the reverb off of the insert effect. But anyways, I did that, and then I set up another audio channel to record a version of the tag with that rising transition. All right. So once I did that, I bounced out that session, right, with that rising effect. Go ahead and close all this out. And when I open up a template, right, it's already in there. Right, it already has this rising effect that we hear in my beat.
Hey, yo, Mr. Cruz.
So the one thing that you hear different is that there's a delay, right? So I like there to be a delay in my tag. So now that I have this set up here, all I had to do in my actual template session is when I set it up to have, boom, a little bit of reverb and then some delay. So the cool thing about this is that delay will always be synced to whatever the BPM is. So I'm never having to change the settings on my delay. And you can see that I kind of have the rising one in the beginning, and then I have just a different one that doesn't have the rising.
Hey, yo, Mr. Cruz.
Right, and all I did there was just kind of splice or cut the part where that rising transition ends, and then I kind of have that separately. But there you go, bam. Once I do that, I create a template and add that to my template, and then I never have to worry about my tag I never have to worry too much about editing my tag after the fact. You know, it's already EQ'd, it's already got compression, it's already, got its effects, and it's already synced to whatever the BPM of the song is. But that's what I got for you guys today. Hopefully that's helpful. If it is, let me know in the comments below. Love to hear kind of any kind of effects or any kind of like tricks that you guys do for your beats as far as like your tags and whatnot. Outside of that, it's your boy, Mr. Cruz, out.